Hey everyone, welcome to Brick Vault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the week where I show you the coolest custom creations I happen to find people building in LEGO bricks throughout this last week. Check out those links in the description below if you want to learn more about the designers that I'm showing off. If you enjoy our content, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, and let's jump right into some honorable mentions first, because there's way more than just 10 cool creations each week. From Robert Heim, and this is the Rocket Transport Rover Orca. Wonderful smooth round shapes. The builder Joxon built the Boreal Wyram, and it's an excellently designed baby dragon. I think it looks like a baby dragon. Vincent Q has Sandman versus Spider-Man, a relatively cutesy version of Sandman as well. And here is a wonderfully designed Ford F750 cherry picker from John O'Shea. Student Scissors built the Viral Racer unit, and if you go through his photos, you'll find a really interesting transformation function. I'm surprised that there isn't a cartoon show based off of a concept just like this, or maybe there is and I don't know. This is a fun little build for Covenant Ghost from the designer Matt. Also check out that build design for the Grunt's head. This builder's handle is Grammatical, and this robotic mantis forklift is part of a larger collection of different robotic designs from a variety of different builders. This one's my personal favorite. Simon Lenz built R5D4. Aiden Builds has a katana, and this is really fun because the natural bend of the bricks imitates the natural bend of the steel in a traditionally made katana. So there's a really fun sort of double element to this design. Lastly, Martin Valkenberg built the Ferrari Land Speeder, and in the description it says, use the NOS, Luke. That would definitely be a fun build to slip into a larger Star Wars diorama. And now let's jump into the top 10 of the week. First up here is a single photographic build from Victor Vandenberg. This is Entering the Long Lost Hall of the Elven King. No detail was spared in this creation. Check out the wonderful sloped tile flooring along the bridge, some extremely creative designs for flowers along the riverbank, and the mantle with the lighting and the helmet just looks so cool. It's very magical and enchanting. We have some glowing crystals maybe in a cave behind, and in terms of a complete atmosphere and world building, there is very few things that could have been done to this model to improve or really change it in any way. From the designer Grammatical, this is Gundam WING X-0 or X-Wing Gundam. You'll notice some familiar shapes along the shoulders and alongside the torso with the wings and sort of the engines from your classic Star Wars X-Wing, but it's all integrated pretty darn well with an original Gundam body design. There is an incredible amount of stability and posability to this creation, which is one of the most impressive things outright because of the sort of top-heavy nature for all the wings in the back. The design details look great. I like the slenderness of the legs. It's sort of a different look for a Gundam, but it still retains so much of the classical design elements that you see with these huge robots. Now, number 8 on the list is from Tim Goddard. This is a Runabout. I think technically you start to see these pop up at the end of TNG, but really these are some staple ships from Deep Space Nine. And if I'm not mistaken, these do look kind of close to minifigure scale. Maybe they're a bit smaller. I honestly don't really remember how large these ships are. You usually only see 2 crew members on the inside. There are some wonderful details here though on the outside. The nacelles have some excellent shaping, and just for the sake of the comment section, I genuinely think one of these would be able to take out an X-Wing if they were to go head to head. In some circles that's supposed to be a layup, in others that is pure blasphemy. You guys can discuss on your own. All right, we're jumping over to the thumbnail build of the episode. Andrew Steele has built Kraatokk Corrupted. Now, I'm not sure exactly what type of skull this humanoid skeletal creature is supposed to have. I'm gonna guess moose, but it's got fangs. The antlers stick out in a really wonderful way. The jagged teeth really do give this a menacing look. It almost actually feels like a dinosaur skull now that I look at it more and more. But there are just some wonderful shaping ideas added to this creation. I like the idea that the rib cage has all these weird extra spiky ribs at different levels and layers. The thick bones for the legs give you an idea that this is is a rather beefy and most likely very fast running creature, and the long spindly fingers are just kind of the perfect thing to have on a demon-like, scary, icy creature that you see before you. It is such a cool build, definitely something I would love to run into at a convention one day. And now I can't help myself here, this one is almost a guilty pleasure of mine. The concept is just perfect for me. From Horlack, this is Blacktron Retro Space Solar Ship. Why have we not seen more classic space and classic pirate ships combined in the past? Now that I see this, it's such a fun strange take to put onto a design, and it really works out well here. I know it's just a digital build, but the space elements are attached in such a way that really make this model feel super complete. Who knows, maybe there's going to be a classic space themed capital ship to face off against this guy at some point, but I wouldn't mind seeing fun crossover themes like this in the future. This is just a really fun build for me. Now, I know I've seen this before in the past. The designer does say that they haven't updated this too much, at least in photos, for the past 10 months, but Ben Pitchford has finally finished the Lego Castle Rock Falls. If you check out his full YouTube video, you'll see some amazing design elements much closer, and he also says this is going to be at a convention very soon, but the design details are just incredible when it comes to the village, the tree village in the corner, the awesome stairs that lead over to the castle, and the absolutely immense body of the mountain and castle itself. On top of that, the whole thing lights up in a really fantastical way, and if this shows up at any kind of convention, most certainly this is going to be one of the big awesome showstoppers. This larger display diorama really struck out to me. It's got such a classic looking feel to it. Brent has built Gotham by Night. Of course, you've got the Batwing silhouetted against the moon, which is such a classic look already, but what really grabbed me is the great shaping and styling that we have for the buildings and the different colored yellows that you have to highlight the lights at the base. It's not just a black silhouette build, which is something I have seen in the past, but really this is a micro city style or architecture style build done completely with just black, yellow, and then I think that's the darker yellow or maybe just flat orange. Either way, it pops incredibly well against the blue, and in terms of a large honorary Batman display, this is certainly one of the coolest I have seen all year. Now here is number 3 on the list from Andrew Clark. This is MTB, or a mountain bike, an e-mountain bike. This is another amazing bicycle build that I've seen in the last couple months. Everything on this creation is totally functional, which is so cool, and the rugged look and feel for this creation just feels very real. He's also got an alternate color combination with a few other things like a stand and some maintenance items. I know a lot of the mechanical love for Lego creations ends up on motorcycles or cars, but something tells me bikes are going to have their day as an official set at some point. This one is up on ideas right now if you do want to support it. Now we're jumping on over to a rather large diorama from Poul-Erik Borre. This is the medieval countryside. From what I can tell, this feels like a quaint-ish village, or maybe it's a large village in medieval times. It's hard to tell. We have some wonderful architecture. I love the sloped pieces used for the thatched rooftops. The integration of dark orange for a lot of the stony path really kind of adds an extra element of vibrance to this scene, and I very much enjoy the fact that so much of this village is really densely populated. It feels like a very alive place. Wonderful design for trees and tree trunks, and it's just one of these slightly larger and more well-detailed slice of life or period piece builds that we get to see. All right, now let's finish this episode off with a Lego Super Nintendo. There was, of course, the recent Lego set, the NES, that came out with the little TV, but the designer Julius von Brunk didn't just create a different console system that looks pretty close to photorealistic. He decided to take his creation one step further, and the actual title of this creation is the Lego Super Nintendo Transformers. There's a reason why I leave links in the description below. He's got a video on how these actually all transform if you want to see how the process works. But yes, this entire series of creations turns into little figures, and you've got a small robot army at the end of it. Now tell me you don't wish that the NES set now had the ability to transform into like a robot Mario or something. This is such a fun idea. It's executed with some expert building techniques, and this episode in general is just a ton of fun to make. So that is it for my personal favorite top 10 mocks of the week. Remember, links to everything I'm talking about and a whole lot more are in the description below. If you haven't had a chance yet, you can check out our web store, brickvault.toys. There we sell instructions for some amazing Lego custom creations if you wanted to take a stab at some of the more detailed models out there. Alrighty, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.